Yeah, this is Red Line Radio, and it's important that we continue to have this conversation about what is it that we as a nation, not just blacks, not whites, not just Latinos, but as Americans. And in order to have success, we have to be policy driven, not enraged, not angry. Uh, and it's okay to be disappointed in some things. But this conversation is really intended to discuss our newest potential 2020 candidates. Now, there are some who have declared, but the conversation that I want to have is on Senator Kamala Harris. And to make it very clear, uh, research has been conducted, information is out there, and her record is very clear. She's not a Obama 2.0. Um, Perhaps that would win some people over. Not me, but it would win some people over. Unfortunately, her position on issues are very sketchy at best, and her political record is poor. So let's start with the Roland Martin comment. You know, he did a YouTube video, and this guy, now I've met Roland Martin. I've taken pictures with him. I've listened to him, and generally I've had a lot of respect for him. You know, he's been, on different shows and have really stood in the way and continue to prop up the status quo, which is what he's advocating when he talks about Kamala Harris. Now, Senator Harris, if you're paying attention to California and you're not doing anything about that, it's problematic that you want to be the president. It's very difficult to even accept that you would want to carry that mantle when in fact you have not addressed California's issues. So let me just be clear, short, and precise, and then I'm going to close out this stream. One, Senator Harris has a draconian record on imprisoning, incarcerating young blacks for drugs, including marijuana, incarcerating parents for, perhaps not being good parents, elderly, the homeless. Just incredible. That's just to name a few of those things. But when I hear talk about the Green Deal that Alexander Ocasio-Cortez has introduced, this $32 trillion idea that they simply want us, the American taxpayers, to pay for. It's another scam. It's a trick. In fact, what they're really advocating is that we begin to move into direction of Venezuela or France and put on orange jackets, not the green ones, orange. That's what they would want us to put on. You get the point, hunters. But the reality is that these policies, along with her prosecutorial record, really puts her on the front line to say, you would not get the black vote. Honestly, I encourage you to drop out because you're not going to get that. You might get a lot of women. Those are, and many of the women who's voting for you are probably voters that went for Obama. And, you know, I never voted for Obama. I listened to him and I picked up on him. And I'm a voter, but I didn't fall for that. Along with this bad record, you know, you got CNN, Roland Martin, all of them are trying to prop up Kamala Harris as this beautiful woman who is a black woman, and black people need to get behind her. Again, race hustling, race baiting, as if we're going to go for that like we did in the 80s and the 90s, early 2000. You know, uh, we're woke. Okay. So that's not happening again. We've seen 8 years of that, and that was very disappointing. Very disappointing. And I'm not talking about politics for black people. I'm just talking about an American agenda that turned socialist, communist, Islamic. It was a combination of things that was occurring in the last 8 years. So you can call it whatever you want, but Obama did things that were more beneficial to other communities. Nevertheless, I'm not going to get on that because that's not even here or there. He's gone. Hopefully he enjoy retirement, stay out of the limelight. It's a lot of problems with that. But to say the least, these issues, such as the Green Deal, she wants to take the Americans' cars so they can introduce driverless cars. She wants to tax us. In other words, take the tax cuts that were actually beneficial to business owners and move that into the direction of the very, very rich. Wants to take our doctors. She says Medicare for all. I don't want Medicare. I have my own private insurance. I have my own private doctor. We had someone who said that if you have your doctor, you can keep it. Well, you know, that didn't work out for many people. So I don't need anybody experimenting with a Medicare for all plan, adding another 32 trillion behind the Green Deal. You see, about 64 trillion. The numbers are staggering, whether it's billion or trillion. They're very staggering and pretty scary for the time that we're living in. So you want to take the cars. You said the Green Deal would allow us to get more cars off the road. Really, you're talking about getting more humans off the planet because climate change deals specifically with CO2 or stopping humans from polluting the earth with our breath, if you will, and realizing that it has nothing to do with people. You know, as the creator, Yahweh Elohim said, go forth and create. So we got man who wants to depopulate. You know that's Satan. But this satanic cult that's forming around the Democratic Party, including the abortion agenda, where you're aborting infants born to a mother, making those decisions for Planned Parenthood. She supports Planned Parenthood. Senator Kamala Harris supports Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood is all around the inner cities. They're not in the suburbs. They're not anywhere where she lives. They're all around the inner cities. And we know how Margaret Sanger felt about blacks and what she wanted to do with uh, us. And so, again, Roland Martin tried to make it about being black. No, that is not the issue. We're not voting because of someone's race. That's them days are over with. I pray so. And we're gonna stay the course. And so when we think about this uh, emphasis on race, so what if she's a Canadian first? Uh, so what? She's an American or an Indian, if you will, or a Jamaican. You know, um, I guess if that constitute being black, and okay, reality is that she went to school in Canada and she was raised and born in Canada and not in America. I think that's another issue. We need to control voters. I mean, control the number of people entering to office holding dual citizenships. Either you're an American or you're not. And this is going farther uh, than we expected. I mean, it's just too much is going on. Okay. And so we're not going to get into what the Democratic Party is actually promoting, but, uh, you know, one that Senator Harris, one thing she did is that she mistreated Kavanaugh. And it wasn't about whether or not he did or did not. It's the fact that they were, as a prosecutor, she had taken away the presumption of innocence and replaced it with being guilty, and then introduced some individual, a female, that made an allegation. That should be still under investigation. But it's just problematic with her entire record. She flip flops all over the place. And so, to you, Roland, it is not about black people not getting behind Kamala or Cory Booker for that. Nobody's getting behind Spartacus either. We know that the platform that the Democrats have is to destroy America. And you have this socialist, communist, Islamist agenda. And you know that you're controlled by the Vatican, you're controlled by the Queen of England. You're all over the place. America is under siege, and we have to stay the course. And so, another point that I want to make, and I'm going to wrap it up here, and that is Senator Kamala Harris wants to take the Second Amendment away. So you want to take Mr. and Mrs. America's guns. If you can just take all the weapons and make us defenseless, then you can impose all these rules on us, tax us to death, propose $15 an hour for individuals, and everybody get $15 an hour. Who's creating jobs? You want to tax the wealthy 70%. They're already paying 30 to 45% of the taxes. That's who's creating jobs. So you want everybody to make $15. You want everybody to be on Medicare for all. And ultimately, you want all of us to go to some work camps, labor camps. We haven't even got into the idea of your support for Dragonfly, where this surveillance is now moved to facial recognition and social credit scores. And it's so much out there that's going on, people. We have to rebuke these individuals in every way we can to stop them from tearing down this country. And so, with that, I say we need good governance. And I think we're getting it. We got it right now. We're on track. No need to change the horse mid-stride. We got more work to do. So I'll leave you by saying the Black Latino exit, or you can say the Black exit from the Democratic Party. It's very important. No. Senator Kamala, hell no. Have a good night.